Welcome back to the ESL Major League here at ESL as we have our next series on the way for you in basically the second week of Playdays here amongst the 12 teams that are currently competing. So far we've had quite the strong showing here today from Bushek team, and we can actually have a look at the league tables so far just to update you onto how things are going on at the moment. So Bushek team with 9 points at the moment here. 3-0? Have they only played 2 series throughout the entirety of this? I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so they have played 3 series so far, have Pushek team.
I mean, it's not that many games into the groups, but being able to, you know, start with a strong score like this is going to be very important, you know, in securing these first places. And on the other side, we see obviously, you know, the top dogs, I guess, so to speak, in Europe, with Team Liquid and Gamers 2 in Group B, so far doing pretty well. And Alternate in Kappa 123 struggling a little bit.
Yes, and now we move on to our second game of the day. It will be Team Kinguin going up against Huron team. And the draft has already begun here, so let's jump into our first map. Is going to be Cursed Hollow in this best of 3.
2 of my ex-teammates, man. Gerdam Herds and Vipelino are going to be facing each other.
Okay, so let's see how this is going to play out. Good obviously found a really strong place on Team Kinguin. And as since then, they've come on, you know, really leaps and bounds. They are one of the strongest teams in Europe at the moment. But Huron team, they have the potential makeup also to be one of the strongest. I mean, they have effectively Major League champions in their lineup from Season 1.
Yeah. What do you think about Nurok replacing Anti-Hero? How has that affected Kinguin here?
That's a good, interesting question.
If you had to compare this with how ADRD got replaced by Backcheck on Gamers 2.
Ah, well, okay. So I think Backcheck was a good addition to Gamers 2. You know, the drafts are probably just going to need a little bit ironing out and stuff like that. Nurok, I think, has you know, a similar mindset to how Team Kinguin is at the moment. So I think he fits place and certainly is able to hold his own. And by looks at the start of the draft here, they're already kind of favoring his role a little bit, really wanting to give him the Muradin to make sure that he is going to be comfortable in this game.
Yeah. I mean, Muradin, we've seen a few players, actually, like on Navi, you know, it's Breeze. Every single time they pick Muradin for Breeze, and, like, you know, he's going to be the one on him. He's very solid with it, so I guess it makes sense, you know, to secure that early when you know you have a player who's going to be able to do really well with it. They might actually, you know, as much as there is a Uther and a Muradin here already, and, like, you're like, well, you know, they just picked it because they have a player that can probably play well with it. They can combo so many heroes with it.
Exactly. I mean, right now, Huron team has to be careful of Kinguin taking things like Tyrande, etc. So that might be their ban in very, very soon after this. If I feel right now, looking at this, that Huron team has to ban out Tyrande.
Do they go Illidan here?
They could.
It's crazy if they go Illidan because they already got 2 stunners against them. And then if they pick Illidan now, they're going to go up against him full CC no matter what. Like,
well, I mean, now they're
asking for it.
Yeah, they've got the Joanna, the potential of a Joanna pick, but they're going to go down the Malfurion path. And even, you know, Abathur with Jaina is just brutal to deal with sometimes. So this is quite strong. So what do you think the ban could be here for Team Kinguin?
Maybe Illidan, if they think it's likely to be picked and they are not confident in playing against it, but already having Uther and Muradin, I don't think they have to ban it.
I think maybe Joanna, looking at this. I think maybe Joanna would be
because
a good
they probably
ban.
don't want to pick her themselves.
No, I don't think they would run a 2-tank lineup here.
Do you think they want to play as assassins, like Zagara, Vala, or Sylvanas? We don't really see much anymore.
That's the Joanna ban that we were theorizing.
Sylvanas was like one of the more popular assassins that was picked pretty much every single time, but as of late, definitely not been really high up there. This,
for me, for Huron team, has to be a Tyrande ban. Has to be. Anything else puts them in a really scary position. Sorry, you were mentioning assassins over on the other side. Team Kinguin could pick up Zagara. Very, very strong on this map. As you know, Snow is one of the best Zagaras in Europe, I would say. Obviously, there are a lot of good Zagaras, but Snow actually really plays the character very, very well.
Yeah, what else actually than Vala and Zagara here? Could you see being picked as an assassin? Like I was saying, like we don't really see Sylvanas anymore that much. Is there room for Vikings here?
Is there room for Vikings? Yes, there is, actually. There is technically room for Vikings, especially when you're going up against an Abathur. You really want to soak those lanes, and it makes the tribute fights a little bit harder for your opponents, although they have the Abathur, right? So it kind of equalizes things out. Abathur against a Viking, it's like one of the best ways to counter that lane soak.
Doesn't Kinguin have a few, you know, cheeky picks here and there that they can go for, where, like, you know, they do a Asmodan comp sometimes?
They do have cheeky picks. You are correct. They have gone Asmodans in the past for some other maps. They've even gone push Asmodans in the past on things like Cursed Haunted Mines.
Yeah.
This is running down very far. Zagara.
Yeah, good reads.
Yeah, I think it is. I think that's probably the second tier of what I would have denied instead of Tyrande, because now I think Kinguin can go down the Tyrande path and be very, very happy with that.
Yeah, Tyrande pick here would be super scary. Like, if they're to secure that, like, they don't even need any more lockdown. You know, just a solid assassin with this, and pretty much anybody, even Murky, like, would do the job.
Even Butcher, now that I look at this. You've got Tyrande,
Yeah.
you've got Uther, you've got Butcher, and Muradin. If they did that, that is steamroll. That is steamroll right there.
Who roams then? Tyrande Butcher? Anybody.
Anybody they want, because any lane they go to, there's already a stun there, right?
Yeah. Against heroes like Jaina,
Tyrande.
Malfurion that are going to melt.
Yeah.
How do you escape? They have no escape. They're going to have Ice Block later on.
I don't know, man. Like, I really felt that the second ban from Huron team had to be Tyrande, and it wasn't, and now there's so much lockdown here for Team King.
They're going to need to play so defensive, but it's clear solo. They're going to have to go for tributes, and then if they get caught, it's the beginning of the end.
This is Team Kinguin's comfort zone. I've seen this in scrims. You know, I've seen this being played out in some other games that they've played in tournaments as well.
Yeah.
And
do they need a Butcher with already having these guys?
They can do it, and it can be deadly. Very deadly.
Yeah, but they don't need it, right?
They don't need it, no.
Yeah.
Right now, it's already deadly enough. But
who do they add, though? 2 assassins or another tank, a melee assassin? A specialist? What do you think fits best here? Surely 1 assassin, okay, which actually Nazeebo is going to be their main damage dealer here by the look of things.
That's fine as well. I mean, on a map like Cursed Hollow, throwing down zombie walls around where the tributes are is almost crippling. Very, very crippling to your movement and your sustainability going into like a team fight. If one person gets caught in those alone, then you're in for a rough time. So
Huron needs a tank here, by the way. Like,
yeah, they do.
One of these 2 picks has to be a tank. ETC is still free. Arthas as well.
TRL
as well.
You're so right about their early game, though. They have to play so defensively. Later on,
maybe they're going to give up the first 2 tributes. Try to like delay them from afar with like Moonfire or something.
Yeah. And a Nubrak with Impale, for example, could work out in that regard as well.
The thing is, I feel like even if they let go of these first 2 tributes, even delaying the capture of these is going to be very, very hard.
Yeah.
Because if they go in, there's just so much stun and lockdown that they're going to die anyway, even from afar. You can't even poke. You can't do anything.
Yeah, with the lockdown, an Uberak can't burrow charge into a bad spot. That would be utter suicide. So, got to be careful with that as well.
I wonder if Kinguin is going to try to get some more sustainability or something to basically just make sure they stay alive and they can use the full potential of their lockdown. Or even Huron, I guess, could do that here if they were to go. They got, I was going to say another assassin here because
has to be.
They've got a Nubarak at the front. I think they're going to ultimate evolution on Jaina to have more burst. And they can actually take down somebody themselves very quickly. It's going to be interesting. That poor Nubarak, though, like, one misstep.
Yeah.
Feels like he's in a maze, like, surrounded by basically all the things in the world that want to kill him.
It's a gauntlet. It is going to be a gauntlet for him, that's for sure. Sylvanas, okay. That's also valuable and valid here. The thing is that Wailing Arrow against the idea of double Jaina and then whatever it's able to hit later on, I think is very, very important for them because
it's crazy. Like, they already got so much stun in lockdown. Now they're gonna have silence as well with the Wailing Arrow to work with. Like, if they combo properly and take good fights, Kinguin, like, surely this should be an easy win, right?
I would favor them in terms of how much lockdown that they have right now, but the thing is that Huron team, you can never underestimate that double Jaina. We've seen how much power it's been able to pump out in the past, and it can be extremely, extremely scary. So, well, We will be getting into this very, very soon. And we will have these two teams getting going quite quickly as well. 1 second. Do we have all the members in?
I think so, yeah. Just before... I asked Vipelino, what is this draft? And he answered, believe, mates, believe.
Believe.
He's a big troll, so I can't tell if he's actually serious or if he's trolling me.
Yeah, we had someone join the lobby, which wasn't supposed to, so I think everyone's just getting rounded out. Rave is now back in.
Yeah.
Okay, good stuff.
The thing is, we can't underestimate too much Huron's draft either, because they've got Abathur, which is, I mean, it's his best map, right? If there is one map he's going to be putting out a performance on, it's definitely this one. And I mean, at first it looked pretty bad. You know, like you look at Jaina, Abathur, and Malf together, you're like,
yeah,
what is this broken team? It's like, you know, some kind of suicide squad that makes no sense. But in the end, adding on a Nubarak and Vala makes it a lot more solid already. But as we say, like, any hero missteps for a second, it's going to be triple stun in your face and game over.
All right, well, the countdown has begun for game number 1 here. First series of the day was looking pretty one-sided there for Pushek team, but now we have Team Kinguin going up against Team Huron, or Huron team, even I should say, which is a mishmash of previous members here of the Major League from Season 1 and Season 2. A lot of different teams being represented here in this team. It's kind of like the resurrection of LDLC.
It's kind of like their draft, actually. A bunch of misfits.
Doing what they can against the tyranny of Team Kinguin. I don't know if it's going to work out. I would favor Team Kinguin here from the draft and from their results prior. They were 3rd place, I believe, in Season 2 here of the Major League. So they're looking to attain those heights again. Of course, in Season 3, the competition is very, very fierce right now. I think across Europe in general, the competition is very fierce in Heroes at the moment.
Yeah, there's a lot of depth to the scene.
Yep.
You know, a lot of good teams. And it's funny because it's not even like stale, you know, where you have like a few or even many good teams. Like there's always new teams coming in. We see Team Pushek, you know, they kind of come out of nowhere. They start doing really well. And now they're kind of starting to make a name for themselves in the European scene.
All right, well, Cursed Hollow is loaded up. We're about to get into this, ladies and gentlemen. Huge thank you for tuning in so far. Make sure to follow at ESL_Heroes on Twitter as we get into game number 1, as it will be on Cursed Hollow. Let's jump right on in to our first game, as we do have, spawning to the left-hand side, it will be Team Kinguin, with Snow playing Tyrande, Nebza will be playing Uther, Nurok, the newest addition to the team, will be playing Muradin, Invidium will be on Sylvanas, and finally Gurdam Herd will be playing Nazebo. Then to the right-hand side, we have Huron team here, as we will have Vipelino playing Nubarak, Hiruka will be playing Jaina, Rave, TGN will be on Malfurion, Shad will be playing Abathur, and Red X will be playing Vala, so looks like a bit of a lineup change compared to what I was believing that they were going to field from the previous weeks. But nice to see that they're being able to find extra members. And already Abathur is looking to go for a pushing build with Survival Instincts.
A little bit surprised by this. With having an Anubarak, I guess maybe he doesn't want to, you know, help and support, do more damage in the fights. So maybe they already consider that winning the fights is going to be so hard that they're basically going to play, you know, a backdoor build where they try to avoid taking the fights as much as possible. But against a team as solid as Kinguin, I just don't know how well that's gonna work out, especially on a map like this. You know, like if you just let them take the first 3 tributes and curse, like you're gonna be in trouble no matter what. Even if you're soaking well and trying to play, you know, some of your own camps and the objectives to a minimum. And
does Malfurion's level 1 here, talent here, Scouting Drone, help out against this kind of composition here from Team Kinguin?
Yeah, for sure. Like they need to know from where the ganks are coming in. Even actually now, like going to, yeah, look, he's using Moonfire. There is Mines as well for vision. But even going to plant it down, like it's so risky.
Yeah.
If Muradin and Tyrande had been there, he would have been in trouble. But Abathur is doing a very good job of putting mines all the way around and spotting where they are.
Yeah, this is a very smart start already from Huron team. Keeping an eyes on them, knowing that they're up here with these mines. And the thing is that they don't realize that they're being watched by those mines. So Malfurion knows that he can walk up here safely and be able to just throw this down. This is very, very clever play from Huron team. I actually love their opener to start this off. It's subtle, but very, very smart.
Look at this. Snow keeps on walking into mines here, and they're revealed every single time. So it's very hard for them to go anywhere without being spotted. Playing, you know, safe and passive here for our team Huron. As long as they can, you know, stay equal in talents, they can kind of pick their spots and pick their fights later on and maybe be able to do okay. And at the top, it's so funny to see the two of my ex-teammates here, Gerdem Herd and Vipilino, facing each other.
Yep, and it will be a slow fight, that one, with Nazeebo. Actually, Nazeebo can give Anubarak quite a hard time as long as he dodges the Impale, which, well, to start off, he didn't too much. But we see Nazeebo has really good wave clear for the most part. Spiders as well as everything will be very good. And wow, they actually managed to catch themselves the Jaina down towards the bottom. Did miss that, apologies, but getting the Jaina, despite the precautions made, that's a good pickup for Team Kinguin.
There goes that observing.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. Observing and casting at the same time can be tough, man.
It's okay, I forgive you, Kailaris.
Thanks, buddy.
You're still the best.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. All right, well, they need to clean up all of these nests once again, as it's never ending.
Gerdem with 28 Death Ritual, man. Doing a pretty good job with that.
Yeah.
He's going to get a free capture here for real. Oh, one Impale. Oh. He's at least going to slow it down one time. We've talked about how difficult it was going to be here, unless he burrow charges.
Extended spikes for the win at level 1.
Oh, the multi-shot.
Oh, yeah, that was a bit ambitious.
Almost. I think it was very close.
Difficult to range that, unfortunately.
So not only they got a tribute, they had an experience here as well.
Ooh, Adrenal Overload at level 4. So kind of a little bit of a hybrid build here from the Abathur. Vipilino once again takes quite a bit of damage up against
Who do you take this for? Vala, surely, right?
Yeah, I think so.
But, okay, well, I don't know. I'm starting to wonder if he's going to go for... oh my god.
Good stun.
Close.
Lunar Flare, not doing too much though. Abathur's keeping an eye on him.
I'm starting to wonder if he wants to go for Evolved Monstrosity rather than Ultimate Evolution there with this build. What do you think?
Perhaps, perhaps. I think in the end, Adrenal Overload is the most important talent to take to help out your team, and then you mix it in with a pushing build, because why would you take Survival Instincts if you weren't going to go for a pushing build, right?
Yeah. I mean, that taking this on Locust just means that on 13 and 16 he's going to be getting Locust talents, but before that, like, there's a few talents that you can mix in, and in terms of ultimates, he's never sure which one you're going to go for. We'll see, we'll see.
Vile Nests, really nice little choice here for especially the roaming phase, so that you can shut down and slow some of these targets. So irritating to play against Vile Nest. If you've not had to endure the pain of that, Nebsy's slowed down towards the back. Snow and Nurok were at the front as well here, so it always takes a little bit more time to get into position. Lockdown, cleansed, gets on out of there.
The price of one multi-shot. Vala going down to no hit points, getting healed. Clutch time.
Oh, that's done! That's done! Oh, the Storm Bolt. Can they chase down? No, they can't. Snow lands a heal. So does Nebza. Oh, brilliant little Storm Bolt there, considering there were beetles in front, catching on the Anubarak.
And behind this, the tribute was acquired here from Team Huron. I really like that Abathur went to top to soak, but look at this. Gerdem Herd never even moved from the lane. He's still collecting more and more.
Collecting heads, man.
Yeah. Collecting heads, I guess. That's the best way to say it. Death Ritual at 60? Health bonus is 300 and mana bonus 180.
It will scale out of control. It becomes very, very tanky in his Debo later on in the game. So got to be careful for that. Obviously, he's been pushed off there for now, but they've got themselves almost a level advantage.
Yeah. I mean, he was out of mana, so that's the only reason he went back there. But Jaina at the bottom. Oh my god. You barely step out of the gate. You're already trapped.
Yeah. Hiruka's got to be even more careful now because of Piercing Bolt that's been taken at level 7. Generally, Dwarf Toss into Storm Bolt will be the engage. And now, you've even got to be careful behind minion waves because Piercing Bolt can still sometimes hit through.
Yes. Bed of Barbs. Level 7 there on Anubarak. Not playing the full Beetle build. Both teams are going to have a cleanse to work with, which is definitely going to be more important here.
The slow. So annoying.
For our Spanish team, man. Because against Muradin, Uther, and Tyrande, I actually feel like cleanse.
Oh, the blocks on Gerdem.
Cleanse is like Divine Shield, man.
Beautiful stuff here by Vipilino and Rave to actually isolate Gerd with the Impale. Great block. Abathur's there to help and save on out.
But they sacrificed one tribute for that, and they're going to get a later level 10, but compared to where they were a second ago, I do think that this is definitely an improvement.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so as well.
Nebsy?
Oh.
What's he doing?
What's he up to? Unstoppable. He has cleansed himself. He stuns on in. There's the block once again. This is almost a repeat situation, but Divine Shield and be able to get him out of there should be totally fine.
Yeah, that's pretty costly. Like, he's going to take a very long time to come back.
They haven't popped the level 10s down towards the bottom. They've got themselves a fort. Invidium did a lot of work on that prior. I've got to say, got to commend our Abatha here, Shad, for actually using the nests in how he has done previously. They've really slowed down a lot of their impact down towards the bottom, but it still wasn't enough to really get that going.
Yeah. An attempt at the boss here. I guess having Tyrande is going to help in taking it down much faster, but look at this. Team Huron, they're onto them. They're going to go across the map, get in position to try and stop this. They could get this boss themselves. Oh, Ultimate Evolution.
They needed it to leash. They really needed that to leash because now the Ultimate Evolution, as you say, is really zoning them out at the moment. Gurdamer is taking a lot of damage. The boss is going to go over to them. They're taking some AoE damage themselves, but then you go, they steal the boss away.
Are they going to be too late? Oh, I think they might be. Look at this.
Yeah, they can't get that.
Oh, the mines. Going to get one
briefly.
cancel at least. I think they are too late.
I think so.
That's a curse.
Oh, Shad! No, he's sacrificing himself for the greater good, maybe?
Oh,
he gets away! Oh,
my God.
Beautiful stuff.
That was crazy.
Abatha. The Slapather is here, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, wow, wow.
And he doesn't need his pajama.
Oh, Shad. He is playing this Abatha like a boss.
Yeah.
Not only the toxic nest placements, but also that denial. Understanding that it's only an Uther there in that position when they were rotating around from boss.
So funny. Like, this usually goes so bad that nobody would even think of doing that in that situation. Like, I didn't even think of it.
When all five are alive, like, scary times, but realizing that he could get away with that. Beautiful.
Oh, Nubarak.
Gets the cleanse, gets on out of there with the Burrow Charge. The silence is down on Jaina, though. Here comes the Tranquility.
All the stunts are on cooldown. Can they re-engage? Oh, my God.
Oh, that wall, that zombie wall, that could be a guaranteed death. And Nubarak will end up falling. Web Blast goes on to Muradin, but Nubarak is going to chase on forwards. Dwarf Toss straight on forwards. Hiruka has very, very little available to him. Not only that, but Cleanse isn't even available either because it was already used. Jaina will end up falling, and that could mean an easy boss here for Team Kinguin.
I think Cleanse was maybe used a little bit too late there. Like, all of the stunts are already hit, I think, on Nubarak, so maybe not the bestest of moves here. And another tribute is coming up. This is the most important one here, early on in this game.
And it's in a terrible spot here, in effect, for Team Huron. Oh my God, they actually Ultimate Evolutioned on for Malfurion, but Malfurion was already trapped. They're going to try and chase forwards. Haunting Wave here from Invidium. The Root will be able to lock him down and make sure he can't go forwards. But
yeah, Kinguin is starting to run out of steam here a little bit. They're all out of mana, actually. They have to pull back and maybe tap. Look at this in the meantime. At the bottom, the Augurs, they are pushing through, man. They're angry.
That boss as well before has done so much, so those camps are really doing a lot. They have to give up this tribute. Oh, they got themselves the boss, yes, but not able to prolong out the fight, but they have been able to delay this tribute for quite a long time. Good job by Team Kinguin.
Oh, this is so smart to go for Pierce on this map, on Tyrande. The owls, man, they go through and they cancel. Like, they just cancel once just because they had this. This is pretty massive, these Augurs at the bottom, man.
Yeah, Shad still soaking experience towards the middle. Has to be careful now, though, because the tribute has been taken, and he is now cursed. The two Ogres towards the bottom still working away, even though the curse is real. And Shad is actually symbioting in a very interesting location, but he knows that they're up towards here doing the hard camp.
It's so crazy, like the bottom lane already being pushed so far. Actually, Shad used Symbiote at the bottom here to help these Ogres for a second. And the bottom lane being pushed so far already, all they had to do was defend the boss here at the top, and now come back to middle to try and actually, I guess, just kind of get that fort to survive for now, if they can get that. It's still a 13 against 14. They could actually engage. Was that a cleanse? That was a cleanse, right? Yeah.
Oh, Wailing Arrow hits all four, but they can't really get the follow-up. They get themselves the fort alone, though, so maybe that Wailing Arrow is actually worth the full fort kill. Now, Owl does send them forwards.
Do you think they can engage Team Huron here?
Do they have Ultimate Evolution available? Yes, they do. So they could, in theory, but
they're actually a little bit out of mana there.
Neurock, he's already used Dwarf Toss. It's off cooldown at the moment. He's going to pop himself the Avatar. He knows he's in a bit of trouble. Root will try and lock him down, but in the Avatar, it's going to be easily sustained.
They have so little lockdown here, Team Huron. Even though, like, you know, they were chasing heroes that are kind of out of mana, they don't have any heroics, they had 5 heroics themselves, they can't get any lockdown going to try and get a snipe themselves. They really struggle. Oh, this could be a great move. If they catch somebody and kill him.
Yeah, I think they realize they're rotating
There's Divine
around,
Shield, though. Nebsy seems fully aware.
Yeah, Nebs just fully confirming that their opponents are here. 15 against 14 at the moment here for Team Kinguin. The Roots are going to try and zone them out, but at the same time, if we see the Nazebo coming in, are they going to try and go for the steal? They throw down the zombie wall onto Vipolino, and he is choked up a little bit in there, but they get themselves the hard steal, and they will be able to get away.
Yeah, Abathur doing a fantastic job of soaking at the bottom. He did go for Bombard Strain. Oh man, when he starts spawning Locusts 3x3, it's going to be massive, the pushing power that he's going to have.
Yeah.
He's playing it really well, actually. Didn't die a single time, just went around super well. Never really got caught. Even pushing far out.
So far, it's been a really good showing here from Shad. Really good. Very impressed. Team Kinguin, though, still holding on to the lead that they have. They really haven't really lost too much structures, aside from down towards bottom after that ill-fated boss steal. But now the boss is back up, and with level 16 nearing for both teams, this is going to be the next point of contention. Oh, great stun. Great piercing bolt there onto Red as well of Vipolino, but they can't really follow it up just yet. Nazebo's down towards the bottom. He was cleaning that up. Impale will slow them down, but he jumps forward. They're going to look onto Anubarak. There goes the Wailing Arrow. Anubarak hasn't got any chance of being able to get away. The smallest burrow charge after that was actually ended. Level 16 is here as well, along with Gargantuan has been popped. They look for the stun again. Web Blast goes onto the Nazebo, trying to get him out quickly. Vipolino still doesn't die in all of that, and the strafe will just slow them down.
And Abathur's going to try to cap the tribute at the bottom, and I think he's going to be able to get it. Can he tunnel away, though? I think he was there already, so he might not be able to escape.
Oh, the owl! Oh, got a tunnel, got a tunnel!
Oh my god, he's the ninja. Look at how many locusts actually he's got pushing at the bottom. That keep. He's already kind of threatened here.
Yeah, yeah. Really still a good showing here from them. They managed to wrestle away that tribute from the Abathur, of all people. And they are still slowed once again. This keep is taking a lot of damage.
So much damage. Abathur might just come in with the symbiote and make sure it goes down here in a second, but might not even have to because it's falling oh so rapidly here. They're going for a Huron now, actually, at least Vala. She was chasing pretty far out.
That easy camp really putting on the pressure, and that will be an open keep later on for Abathur once he decides to play the positioning game, understand where his opponents are, and then just tunnel in and get more Locusts down there.
Yeah, they really want that keep, but if they go in, they're exposed to getting engaged and killed, even though in terms of heroics, we've got way more heroics up here for Huron. They're gonna, I guess, group up, try and get that third tribute here for the curse.
We'll see Kinguin just moving around here. They know that the sentry drone is there. They're going to deny that for, or at least it even times out. But Neurock leading the charge at the moment. They'll start capping this tribute. Level 17 against 16. Not going to be managed too much. Here comes Ultimate Evolution on the back lines, though. Double Jaina, double actual Blizzards trying to hit onto Invidium, but he did get Divine Shielded, so he will be totally okay. And Neurock at the moment doesn't want to pop his avatar just yet. They want to deal with the Jaina first. If they can get rid of the Jainas, that'll be totally fine. They're going to take the curse, though, for all of this. Shad at the back is causing a lot of disruption, and we'll finally time out.
Yeah, having Ranger on Tyrande is a massive big deal. She does so much damage, as well as, you know, cancel pretty much anybody trying to capture a tribute. Done a fantastic job this entire game. Finally getting a curse here. And I think they're going to contest the boss and probably be there on time. This is going to be really dangerous. Look at this. Kinguin already pulling back. They fully know that this could be happening. And if they die there, that's pretty much game. So they're just going to pull back and leave it.
Bottom keep dies.
Oh, they're going to contest. It's very dangerous all the same, because there is a very good chance they're going to, you know, die and be in trouble. Yeah,
Ultimate Evolution is back in as well, though. And they've got to be very, very careful about how they deal with this. I think it's on cooldown. Actually, no, it is on cooldown. The thing booked out there for a moment.
Tranquility and Web Blast are all available.
And they were able to hit a good Wailing Arrow there, but big heal up there onto Red, who actually used himself his Blood for Blood as well to keep himself alive on the back of killing off the Muradin. And it looks like Oath is trying to delay this for a little bit longer, but it's not going to be enough. Great moves here by Huron team. Great sustain from Red.
Vala, she's chasing.
And will they be able to do it? Because if they could push,
is so happy. He's like at top, chilling.
They could push for a kill here. They could push for a kill. They've got a boss about to hit. There's 20 seconds or so. Snow and Invidium have to do a really, really good job of being able to lay this out. Looks like they're just going to back off. Very, very tense here, though. 15 seconds left. Boss is going to be on there very soon. They actually get the lockdown. The lockdown forwards onto the Cone of Cold, being able to kill them both off. That is GG, well played. That Cone of Cold alone getting the lockdown. And Kinguin knows it. They have been bested by a Huron team. after an explosive final moment in that game. Good game to Huron team, who I would consider going into this the challenger. But right now, they are definitely proving that wrong. Wow, that was a good showing by them when they were on the ropes.
I think we clearly underestimate the Slapather here, Kailaris. That was the big problem.
Shad, man, he really, really played very well. Not only with zoning out, with the nests, to then take Toxic Nest to... It's so irritating.
It's funny because as much as I didn't see it coming, I'm pretty sure they didn't see it coming too.
I think so.
Here, they were going for the tribute. They're like, yes, we've got it. They start capturing, and then there is slap, and then goes away.
No way, man. That Slapather.
A very tiny slap too.
Very beautiful.
Good.
Just run away. All right, well, that does it for game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. What a showing out of Huron team. Really well played by them. We are going to go to a short break, guys, and when we're back, we are going to have more action from the ESL Major League. It will be game number 2 between Team Kinguin and Huron team.
Listen to this. Come on.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL Major League here for our second series of the day. At the moment, we're seeing, it looks like Huron team has been able to secure themselves the first win here in this best of three. After it looking a little bit like a rocky start, their recovery there in that first game was very, very strong.
They got carried by Abathur, man, big time.
Abathur looks really, really good in that game.
He pushed lanes very nicely, soaked in multiple places, and helped in fights, did pretty much everything.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very good stuff by him. And that means now we'll be going into the draft here for game number 2. Game 2 will be played on Dragonshire here in the best of 3. If we need it later on, of course, it will indeed be Battlefield of Eternity, which we'll be able to wrap things up on if Team Kinguin manage to bring themselves back another map. But for now, let's get into the draft here for game number 2. As we begin things with Kinguin having first ban and first pick. Any particular kind of pathways that they're going to go down here, Todd?
I think Kinguin, to be honest, in the previous game, they were doing really well, but then they kind of maybe got a little bit overconfident, especially when that, third tribute was coming up that they could have captured for themselves. And then from there, they made one mistake and then maybe got bothered by it a little bit too much and never really, played that well anymore, felt like in a series. Their comp still had a lot of potential, but was decently shut down by Huron team, with the good cleans and positioning pre-fight and all that.
Yeah, certainly seems so. Well, Joanna is going to be their ban, and I'm expecting Zeratul to be the one from Huron team here. I wouldn't expect Zeratul to come along.
Right, but then Jaina is the first pick, right? If the logic's respected.
Yeah, potentially. They could actually ban out Zagara here as well and make sure that we see both a Zeratul and a Jaina and say, well, okay, if you're going to ban Joanna, we ban a Zagara here, deny all of that crazy little wiggly vision that you would have. But Zeratul will be the choice anyway, and then it will be, who do you guess? Probably the Jaina.
Yeah, pretty much every single time it's going to be her, and there it is. No surprise. Now that's where things get interesting here. Zagara is available, and definitely one of the top picks that you can go for.
Yeah.
They liked Muradin last game. Actually, no, it was Kinguin.
Yeah. They've actually swapped sides from the drafts, so that's probably where that confusion kicked in.
Uther, I guess Uther is going to be one of the popular guys. We don't see too many Illidan compositions, I feel, compared to, some time ago it felt like everybody was going to try it. He was even banned a lot. But as of late, not nearly seen as much. Last game, to be honest, Vipelino, I think he did pretty good on the Anubarak, so maybe he's going to bring it back here. But I don't think you have to pick it at that early, especially... Well, I guess Johanna was banned. So if somebody right now, say Huron wants to pick, double tank and then ban one later on,
I think Viplin is one of the guys in this particular patch at the moment that we see almost swear by Anubarak. If you think back to when we first saw him playing out games in the Major League, it was almost 2 patches ago actually, and it was Shen, right? Yeah. It was Shen that he would go to, but they're going to switch things up and go Muradin.
He used to be all about that Stitches actually for a very long time, but that's back when Stitches was still relevant.
That's true, and I think the Muradin here for Huron team is not only good for them in terms of composition, but a tip of the hat really, because it's probably one of Nurok's favorite heroes. So taking away that at the very beginning is good to kind of deal with what Kinguin really, really likes to fall back on.
I guess Zaga definitely would be a solid pick here with the Muradin, unless they want to try themselves what Kinguin was going to go for in the previous map and pick something like a Tyrande or even the Uther now. And then later on go for the Tyrande, because, I mean, even if they picked Uther now, then it's really hard for Kinguin to go for a ban on the Tyrande, because then there's still so many possibilities for Huron and who they are going to want to go for. Remember that Kael'thas is still also available.
That's true. That is true. And on a map like this, as small as it is, those flame strikes, they could be hitting from pretty far away, even from lane towards middle where those easy camps are. Can be pretty irritating later on, and obviously one of the big strengths of this map is, again, good solid poke. Once you get to keeps, once you get to those walls, because it's going to happen pretty early because of the way the Dragon Knight works, you can be in a terrible time.
Do you think this is the best map for Asmodan?
Yes. Yes. Yes, it is. I think definitely. I'm
But
trying
the
to
time
think of
pool
any-
running super low
Yeah, very low.
for the second pick here.
Uh,
Very indecisive.
Are they going to pick something? Zagara. Okay, so
All this time pool for this?
yeah, it comes back to what we were saying before. She is powerful on this map. May as well pick it. May as well take it away from Kinguin as well, all importantly, because you don't want Snow to have that Zagara.
Kinguin from there. They're going to go for their own support here with Malfurion, not leaving it for Huron. And Uther, so
Well,
playing a double healer comp.
we know what the band's going to be. But can they run it better, basically? Who wears it better, Rocket or Kinguin? Become a fashion show. So, Huron team, their ban, likely to be, now that I look at it, maybe a tank. Really force Kinguin down a particular path. Cause
Imagine they ban Lily. Mind games.
oh, that would be pretty weird. But yeah, so I think tank would be good. They've got the Meridian already. Kinguin already banned out Joanna. If they ban something like an Uberak, I think that could be good for them.
Yeah, especially since they're going to have the next picks. They can try and, I guess, steal away something from the opponents.
What just happened there? Because their
Time pool
process-
run out.
Yeah, the overlay is bugging out a little bit. I'm going to press refresh and see if that does solve the situation.
I didn't see any pick. I guess it seems like the first ban here went to Kinguin instead.
And I wonder if you run out your pool, does the second ban just not ban nothing? Because technically, if you run out your pool and you're on a pick, it just picks something random,
I just
right?
assume it will bounce back then after this now.
Hmm.
Right, it might actually be. Yeah, they don't have a ban.
This is interesting. I'm wondering, we're gonna
Yeah,
have
they
to
probably
check.
did not want to ban anything.
I mean,
Or they couldn't make up their minds.
maybe. We're gonna have to
I
check
will
the
ask.
ruling on that. Yes, if you could, please, that'd be great. So Huron team goes into the picks. We were expecting totally it to be the Rhaegar ban coming out of Kinguin because of how theirs is orchestrated thus far. And now Huron team doesn't have to pick their healer, but they would ideally like some good sustainable damage.
I wonder if there's a way Huron doesn't pick Lily in their next to pick, and then Kinguin picks it after.
Oh, they went
And
and
then
themselves.
there's really no healer to play with.
Uh-oh. Kinguin, you're gonna have to deal with Azmodan here if you're not careful.
Why? They don't have a healer, man. They need to go for healer last, I think. Huron.
Oh yeah, you're right. Never mind. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Way ahead of myself.
But actually, that's
I'm
what
glad
I was
you reined
saying
me
just now. Imagine they want Tyrande Lily now.
Yeah.
How do you heal on this team from Huron?
Sure.
And the question is, do you need a heal? And how will it go? Well, you know what, Carlos? There's only one way to find out.
To be fair, I think that full support
If I was
comp
on a
wins.
team, I'd want to try that so bad.
Yeah, I think that full support comp actually wins out against full
There's
tank comp.
3 melee heroes. You play Twilight Dream for sure.
This is
Yeah,
crazy.
man.
It's theorizing this is ridiculous,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I get what you mean, right? I do. Valor will be their choice.
And then Lily, come on. One time.
No way.
The thing is, there's still Tyrande. They go for
Arthas.
the Arthas at the front.
Still a really good tank choice, considering, yeah, of course, Huron team took a lot away from them, but Arthur still has his place in the meta at the moment. It's very, very niche, but he
Yeah.
still has a place.
Having already 3 tanks, he has to be Lily. Like, there's no way around it, I think. Playing a Tyrande as a healer, like, just seems so much weaker than going for something like a Lily, which, even with Serpent, you know, can do okay.
Did you manage to find a ruling on our second ban, by the way?
No.
Anyway. So Lily is finally the choice here.
I think they
and
couldn't make up their mind, that's why.
Maybe, yeah. And I will leave my square blank, I guess, for this game, which is going to look very strange. Actually, I'll put crosses through it because that will signify to me that something really weird happened. I can't just leave it blank, otherwise I'd be confused later on when I look at it.
No ban.
No ban? No ban there. You could have banned anything. You could have banned Murky. Who cares? At that point. All right. So we're going to get into game number 2 very
Yeah,
soon.
but he threw us off. Maybe he's going to throw the opponents off as well.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe, oh, my God. Like
Mind
something's up.
games. I see what it is.
Special tactics.
Special tactics. Let's get into this game then with Mr. Websy. So, looking at these lineups, Todd, bit more unconventional than I was suspecting. Triple tank is very, very strong. Let's put that out there. Triple tank is very
We've
strong.
seen it do well.
Yes.
It's very strong. Is a strong statement in itself, especially with some of the Hero League games that I've played, Carlos. So let's be careful with what we say.
Fair play.
We've
fair
seen
play.
pro teams pull off triple tanks very, very well, actually, at times. Like more and more. We're seeing it more and more, almost as if it's like a new thing that not everybody has to do, but definitely be able to mix it in, you know, in one of their comps.
It can work wonders. It can work wonders. We've seen different iterations of it from region to region. I mean, we obviously saw MVP Black running a fantastic triple tank combination, which can work very strongly. On this map in particular, Gamers 2 has run good triple tank combinations, with then Asmodan being picked at the very end, which is why my mind suddenly exploded and I decided they didn't need a healer, which was kind of stupid. But aside from that blip of a moment, looking at these lineups, Todd, who are you favouring? Are you favouring Team Kinguin, or are you going to go to the triple tank of Huron here?
Honestly, every time I say I don't favor the team triple tank, they end up winning, so I'm going to go for the triple tank, I guess, for once.
Okay.
I've joined the dark side. Congratulations, Skylice.
Good job, man.
You've corrupted me.
Fine. Okay. Apparently, I'm now an advocate of triple tank instantly.
You are, no?
Did I say that? I don't know.
You're always like, you know, really behind it. It seems like. It sounds like.
Maybe.
I can feel the
can't recall.
bias in your voice every time.
Thanks, man. All right. Well, we're going to tell these guys we are good to go. Good to go here. And we will be getting into game number 2. Kinguin needs to win this game to keep themselves alive. Obviously, they would do well in the first week of the Major League here in Season 3, defeating Alternate Fancy 2-0. That was quite the good result for them. Alternate Fancy have really risen through the ranks here in the European scene.
But now doing nearly as well as of late, though.
Team Kinguin, you mean, or Fancy?
Oh, yeah, Fancy.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And likewise, you know, Kinguin has had a few sporadic results here and there as well in leagues and tournaments actually leading up to this moment. So they really need to buckle down themselves. They were one of the very best in Europe, I would say, a month or 2 or 3 ago. But at the moment, there is so much talent here in the European scene.
These groups are pretty stacked, to be honest.
Yeah.
Looking at them. Not, I don't really see, you know, any team that's like I will rate much below the others. Like maybe I guess in each group there is like one team that you can say is maybe behind the others. But other than that, it feels like, you know, there's quite a few teams that can definitely be taken first here in that group or doing well going into the playoffs later on.
Definitely. All
It's
right.
been, I think, one of the most entertaining tournaments by far, you know, the Major League, especially. Like, I feel like the last few Playdays leading up to the playoffs, you know, there's been some suspense. And in the playoffs, there's been some crazy games here and there, you know. With last season, Team Arthas playing incredibly well. Against all expectations, they won it.
Yeah.
Everybody thought it was going to be Gamers 2, and nope.
Yeah, and there was even the potential that they wouldn't even qualify for the playoffs last season. If you cast your mind back, that was the dream for Fnatic to potentially actually get a 2-0 one week and a 2-0 the last week to then push themselves into 4th place. They missed it by 1 map, I believe. They lost they won the last series of the tournament of the league 2-1. And because of that 1 map that they lost, they were unable to actually place because of how the map scores work here. So very, very close stuff in the Major League. And now we are getting into game number 2 with Huron team at the moment looking to cause a little bit of an upset against Team Kinguin, who placed 3rd last season. So let's jump right on in as we do have, spawning to the left-hand side, it is Team Kinguin for game number 2, as we have Snow going to be playing Jaina, Nebsy will be playing Malfurion, Invidium will be playing Valor, Nurok will be playing Arthas, and finally Gerdam Herd will be playing Uther. And then to the right-hand side, currently 1 game up in the best of 3 so far, it is Huron team with Vipolino and Anubarak. Red X will be playing Muradin, Haruka will be playing Zagara, Shad will be on Tyrael for this triple tank lineup, and Rave TGN will be going to his support role in Lili.
Rancor on Vala here, so no multi-shot builds.
Seeing this become more popular, actually, the Rancor at level 1.
It does pretty well, especially if you don't pay attention to it and you don't know it's the case.
Yeah,
Like Vala will seem, I guess, a lot less scary than it is, and then you fight it and you're like, oh god, like,
yeah.
I just died instantly.
You've really got to check for Valor. Like, is she taking Rancor or is she taking Siphoning Arrow? Because those are the 2 scarier one-on-one builds compared to the multi-shot, which is like the all-purpose, I'm just going to slowly chip away at you build.
Gerdam Herd setting up at the top. He's actually on the Uther this game. One of the flex players here. Can play a lot of heroes himself. He's actually one of the guys that I think in Europe has like some of the most games played
Oh,
by
yes.
far. Like, he's got a lot of games played.
Yep. Whenever I ask him to play, man, he's like, yep, I'm up for it. It doesn't matter when it is, where it is. And he will always be up for games.
Unlike you.
Hey, I'm a busy man, I'll have you know, Todd. I've got 1,000,001 projects
Especially
going
when
on.
it comes down to playing with me, you're never available then.
Well, we're in the same office at the moment, so I can't avoid it for too long, eh?
Big rotation at the bottom. They're going to keep on doing that here for now. And I guess both Anubarak and Lily will be pretty happy because collecting these globes are going to help them a lot. So on a map like this, it's actually pretty interesting. Imagine one day we see like 4 heroes that play with Conjurer's Parachute and Regeneration Master, and they just rotate mid, bottom, mid, bottom.
Just collect all the globes.
They have like infinite mana and regen.
This is one of the maps that could do it on, if that were to come along, because the lanes are so close to one another. Nurok had to get out of there towards the bottom. He was locked down by the roots, but in the end, Nibsy had actually locked the opposing team out by the roots to slow them down and make sure he would stay alive.
Snow was in a pretty scary position for a second, but he's going to pull back next to the wall.
Nurok's blocked. Nurok's blocked. Actually, they let him through. Rave lets him through, but still trying to block him once again. The roots don't actually hit anybody. Nurok still blocked here by Shad. Very, very close to death. Manages to save him under the towers. Oh, close, Nurok. So close.
Lily went down in hit points very, very quickly here when the towers were shooting, but barely escapes as well. And that dive, man, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
They invested a lot in this, in the end didn't pay off.
It could have gone better. Rave, I think, let him out in terms of positioning from the bush next towards the shrine, and then it definitely could have got that kill a bit earlier, but alas, it was not to be.
Mending Serpent on Lily here at level 4. We have the protective shield here on Uther. Destruction on Arthas.
I think the numbers kind of equal out. If you remember our Lily before, coupled up with the Tyrande, yeah, okay, so the numbers equal out because she's actually helped in sustain and heal.
Yeah.
But this time around, 3 tanks don't need really as much healing in theory, right? So that kind of is going to be the equalizing out factor for them.
We saw earlier actually what 3 tanks were doing with Jug of 1,000 Cups behind it.
Yeah, scary. Pretty scary to
it
deal
was
with.
Tranquility actually back then on Team Push 6. But this time with Jug of 1,000 Cups, I guess it's going to be a little bit similar.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. And we're seeing even the amplified healing coming in here for Tyrael, so that will help that out.
It's so funny. Snow is wall and tower hugging so much. He's so paranoid. He knows that anytime somebody could be coming out of those bushes here and taking him out.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if we look at his numbers right now, I imagine they're not that brilliant. But the thing is that, yeah, look at that. Hero damage, 400. Siege damage, okay.
Whoa,
Cleaning things up.
doing?
That was ambitious. Red's going to try and block him and cause a lot of damage. But
that was bad.
they've just got to sustain through this early game. They're losing towers down towards the bottom potentially, though. That could cause them a lot of issues.
Yeah, I mean, only having 2 heroes at the bottom is going to do that. And I guess Invidium and Gerdamherd at top, they are doing fine, at least against the Zagara, you know.
Yeah.
They haven't lost a single hit points on their towers and wall against the Zagara, so they're shutting it down pretty hard. Like, if they stayed there with just 1 hero, they wouldn't have been doing nearly as well.
You're totally right. It's equalizing things out, which is the most important factor. Experience-wise, blow for blow. Really, really well done.
Even though they lost the entire wall down there.
Tyrael needs to get out of there. Snow, even, I should say, is actually rotating around just to clean up the easy camp and then get back towards mid and soak.
Hiroki is being very patient top, by the way. Never really stepped out of position as well. Not really losing too many hit points himself. 1 Shrine for 1, and for now it's going to remain the same up until we finally see some kills, I think.
And speaking of the shrines, should have pointed this out a bit earlier in case you are newer to Heroes of the Storm. Control the 2 shrines after standing on them for a while, and you will have access to the Dragon Knight in the middle that you can channel, take possession of, and then start pushing down walls with, which is very strong. So that's the main objective here on Dragonshire.
And freeing it is actually very fast.
Yes, very fast. And there are little tricks that you can do as well.
That cleans the top.
Nice, good
Beautiful.
save. But yeah, having an Uther on your team, good trick that you can do is actually Divine Shield someone whilst they're channeling on it, and it will be able to capture that without being interrupted, even if you do have a potential, like even AoE damage try and hit you.
We've seen that being used more and more. I wonder actually if it's going to be nerfed in future. Because he's pretty damn good. Like if a game, you know, is level 20 against level 20 and equal, you just do that, you get a Drake, and then you kind of push in. So as much as you're going to be missing one of your ultimates, having the Drake is going to be so important A lot of the time, he's going to win you the game. Got him hurt at top. He's surrounded.
He was unstoppable. He actually cleansed himself prematurely here to try and get out of this position. And it looks like, though, he's still going to be blocked up. Very difficult to get away and will be brought down. Reciprocate was actually taken here by Shad, so he's taking a page out of MVP Black's books.
I really like this from Kinguin. They realize that there's too many heroes top and that the shrine at bottom is not going to be taken on time. So they go for the easy camp. But look at this. Mid, if they insta-cap, there is a chance they're going to be able to get it. But they don't. And Lily at bottom. Oh, okay, I guess she's going to have to pull back too early.
Yeah, difficult with Neurock and Nebsy there. Could have been very, very devastating if it had been rooted and then Hamlin blasted by this composition that we're seeing between Neurock and Nebsy. Very strong control of bot
Army
lane.
of the Deads.
Ah, okay.
A single tank here. I guess I like it.
Yeah, I think I like it as well. I mean, oh, Zagara. Oh, I did miss Zagara dying up towards the top shrine.
Yeah, there's a fight at the bottom. Army of the Dead was used there, and Arthas is not going to die anytime soon. They're trying to kill the Tyrell here. Yeah. Muradin is actually out of mana. And Jaina is going to rotate towards the bottom. The battle of the healers at top was raging. Yeah,
we have Locust Swarm coming in for the Anubarax, and Tyrell's yet to pick up, so it might be Sanctification here, actually. Later on, considering he's
this is dangerous. Muradin is going to take so much damage.
Yeah, especially that Water Elemental popping onto him. There's a Sanctification. Tyrael wants to come in from Shad and try and force this out, but they get themselves onto the Dragon Knight Snow. Straight in on there, and it looks like Tyrael gets pushed away very, very quickly. So now he's going to be out of the fight for a little bit. So there's really, really good sustain on the side here of this triple tank lineup, but at the same time, they're not capitalizing on it. They didn't really get any kills at the beginning of this game, and I feel as longer the game goes on, they're going to be good.
Jug of 1,000 cups, Sanctification.
It's all right. It's going to work out pretty well, I think. Not going to die anytime soon. I mean, got to do something. Got to keep yourself alive somehow.
And Locust Swarm, it's like, they want to survive. They want to live.
Yeah.
They didn't get to pick one of their preferred healers. They want to live anyway. They want to have some good sustain while they keep on fighting against a pretty sustainable comp themselves. Like, I mean, 2 healer on the other side, Divine Shield, Tranquility, and an Army of the Dead.
Got to be careful as well. Nebsy is in a very, very precarious position. He pops himself the Tranquility. Red X at the back as well. Because he was pushed away, because he was right next to Neurock, he did take quite a lot of damage, and he will end up falling. Despite all of that, no opportunity here for Shad to actually throw down his Sanctification because he just didn't have the mana, and he's going to fall down as well with Rain of Vengeance killing him off.
Yeah, Tyrell actually falls. Got chased by the Vala, and that Rain of Vengeance was pretty nice. Killing it in the end, level 13 against 12, up 1 talent. And they're going to go and steal the camp here. I really like that. That's a nice way to exploit a lead like this without, you know, going too far, overextending. Very nicely done.
Doing good at the moment, controlling these lanes now. Zagara up to the top has been left alone for a little while, and she has done some damage, but nothing too impactful right now as level 13 against level 12, a full level ahead.
Not 1/4 has died.
Yeah, on either side. Oh, Shrink Ray throwing down that. Oh, great maul by Hiruka to stop that. And actually, this could even be the counter engage as Eldrarune's Might comes in from Shad. Trying to push on forwards, uses his shield for the reciprocate damage to go on to Gurdam Herd. But at the same time, here comes Invidium. Doesn't grab it. There goes the Divine Shield. Red X is going to try and body block him as much as possible. Uther is potentially out, tries to heal himself, trying to keep himself alive with the Holy Light as well, but it's not going to be enough as he will end up falling, but still looking to go for the counter engage. Jug of 1,000 Cups will keep them alive, though, on the other side for Huron team. And meanwhile, Malfurion hasn't been here for the longest time. He is looking to just push.
He's trying to, you know, soak a little bit more experience. They're still ahead.
God. Triple Burning Rage, Todd. If the fights continue on sustain-wise, this is going to be a lot of damage. Neurock is going to be learning this firsthand. A Rain of Vengeance catches them, and Fipolino doesn't even die. Oh,
being
what a
5
shame
there
for them.
changed everything. They sniped one, they saw that Malf was at bottom. It's 5 versus 3. Even if you dive, a lot of the time you're going to be able to, you know, pull out of there with very low hit points, and then if you have a healer in this case, it's going to be able to kind of save you. And in the end, they made great trades.
Yeah.
Really came back experience-wise, because they were quite a bit behind here not too long ago.
And Nebsy didn't even get the fort down towards bottom just yet, which eventually it should be taken here by this wave.
He was Malf.
Yeah,
Nobody really expected him to get
That's true, that's true. So, but, I mean, you've got to pay for something. If you're in a 4v5 situation or 3v5 up towards the top, you need to make something else happen. They finally get that fort, but it kind of just equalizes up fort kills. And they also lost a few of their members, of course.
It's going to be interesting to see actually the next few fights, especially when both teams get level 16 there. It's not every day you get to see, you know, this kind of composition, you know, Sanctification and Jug of 1,000 Cups on one side, Tranquility and Divalshin on the other side.
And we'll see. Just regrouping down towards the bottom.
Oh, they set up a trap. Look at this. They're just waiting for Team Huron to come in here. Actually, got him hurt. That was very risky here.
He got blinded there, and it looks like Gerdamherd will be able to get out with half of his health, and thankfully for him, they don't really have to fight just yet. The double healer composition should be able to sustain well. Likewise, though, so with this triple tank composition, unstoppable onto Nurok there to try and cleanse him out. But there is the more. Can they kill off Arthas in time? It doesn't look like it. Invidium and Snow are going to come out of there. Tranquility's been used, so is Jug of 1,000 Cups, healing up this team. Vipolino and Red actually took quite a lot of damage. There's a great impale on towards 3 of them in the middle. Vipolino going in straight onto Invidium, but Meridian ends up falling. Valor goes down as well. Trade for trade at the moment, but Shad gets out there with Eldragoon's Might. He was locked down by the fact there was a little bit more freezing going on, and for now, just gets back away as well.
Just 1 for 1. And health-wise, we have Arthas and Malf pretty low, so they're going to have to pull back, but somehow...
They're crazy fights. They're crazy. It's like both teams are technically full sustain comps with totally different ways. 2 healers versus 3 warriors with Sanctification.
Oh, they're only 2 against 4.
Oh, why did they leave? Why did they disband? Why did they disgroup?
Because they need to defend. I think there was a big wave of minions at the top. There was
but they shouldn't have been so far forwards.
There was the Knights pushing as well. Look at this. The tower's out of ammo, so Jaina had to go back and defend. I think the mistake was, I think it was on Uther. A little bit to kind of stay there for a little bit too long. And Malf as well.
All right.
Malf paid for it with his life here.
It's going to mean a Dragon Knight here if they're not careful. Nurok
They can regain bottom.
Yeah. Valor, yeah, should be okay. I think, though, Rave can sit here for a little while. Maybe delay, maybe delay.
Uther's on the way.
Looks like they're going to get it.
Oh.
For the cost of a Lili, I think that's okay. I really do.
That Vala is so brutal.
Yeah, a lot of damage.
So insane.
But now they got themselves a Dragon Knight. That is guaranteeing themselves some towers here.
Oh, Jaina! Oh my god!
Oh.
The Hunter killer.
Wow, wow, wow.
That's so far to get her.
Nurok also takes some damage here from Red X and Shad. Shad is actually being focused down, though, by Valor. And obviously, Giant Killer is very, very important here for her to be doing big damage to this tanking lineup that she took at level 13. Also, Blood for Blood is going to steal away a lot of health from that tanky lineup. So, if Valor, technically, this is her game to win up against a composition like this. Because she has so many tools available to her.
Some crazy damage we're seeing out of that Vala in terms of damaging capability in those fights. Stone Skin and Relentless on this Arthas is going to help a lot with the survivability. Like both teams in terms of sustain, it's actually pretty ridiculous how much they can sustain. Stone Farm as well on the Muradin, like Blood for Bloods. Does it ever end, Kailaris?
It's really funny now that I think about it, how much is on Valor's shoulders right now. Like, she has to do big, big work, and she has to be not be in a bad position.
Whoa.
Once again, gets a Muradin up towards the top with Snow. Gerdamherd's going to chase on forward. Shrinkray goes on down onto Rave, who tries to cleanse out of that stun, though. Benediction was used, though, for the double stun onto Rave. Didn't quite lock down. Gerdamherd at the front, trying to body block with that Divine Shield. Doesn't manage to kill off Rave. He pops Jug of 1,000 Cups, and the engagement will subside.
Oh, Anubarak in the middle. Oh my god, he was getting chased. He almost died. Holding Blast barely missed. That was so close. Nebsy and Nurok they were on the hunt, man.
Ooh.
They wanted the beetle.
Yeah, and because of the way in which the sustain comp is working with the 3 tanks, I was expecting Herbal Cleanse to come out at level 16 from Lili, but she's actually gone for 2 for 1. And considering that the front line is so strong, I think this is a really good choice.
Actually, the mouse have been a big problem here that is very hard to deal with for Kinguin, because if some guys get isolated behind, they can't really help during the fight, and then they start dying, you know, the guys at the front. Usually it's going to be one of the tanks. I guess when Arthas got targeted, though, he stayed up for a very long time and really did a good job. Whereas on the other side, it's really Muradin that's been staying at the front for too long rather than just pulling back, regenerating, and then going back in. So definitely going to have to fix that, because you can't be losing that Muradin before anybody else dies, I guess.
A little bit scared for Huron team right now in these fights because as it goes on further, the thing is that do you feel that Valor needs Blink here, or could she go for Nexus Frenzy at level 20?
Yeah, I think Nexus Frenzy here would be great with how much sustain they have if she just position herself really well.
Yeah.
Like with the Jaina, like they're going to do so much damage. At top, we're going to have a dive here.
Oh, they're trying to get onto it. That's Sanctification was trying to be used there for the Zagara, but it's not going to be enough to end up getting obliterated in the Tyrael as well. It was a good attempt at trying to save her, Zagara, I should say, but in the end, great little rotation out by Kinguin to pick them off.
Fully noticed that 2 heroes were up there and isolated from the rest of their team. You just go in, tower, fort, don't really care. You just kill 2 heroes and then get out of there. Look at how much experience they're ahead by now. Just gonna eject from there, try and secure Drake themselves. And with those timers here, on the 2 remaining heroes that are dead from Huron team, they might be able to get one.
They might be able to. Looks like Gerd's just going to stall out this shrine. Nurok tries to go for it. If only we'd seen Uther actually in like a little bit of a different distribution so he could try and throw down that Divine Shield onto Nurok to catch that. Would have been really, really top-notch. And it will be Nexus Frenzy. Not too common that you see it here on Valor, but considering these lineups, our theories proved correct, Todd.
I think it's a great choice. Nurok is going to be the one here in the Drake. And that mid fort, it finally is going to go down. It stayed there for a very long time here, 17 minutes in.
Look how fast Valor is going to be attacking here. These tanks are going to get absolutely melted away with Manticore as well. Well, with Rancor actually coming in, it's very, very difficult. All the way through level 1, this plan by Team Kinguin can certainly pay dividends later on.
Anubrak staying at bottom for a very long time, and I like this because he was trying to get 20 here. They're going to have to hold on for a little bit longer before they finally get 20 and try and possibly get a good engagement.
Looks like Holy Ground's not going to slow down Nurok any, as it will slow down the heroes, but not the Dragon Knight as they try and push on power. Oh, capturing him! As soon as he actually enters the fray, Anubarak falls, and without one component of their triple tank lineup, they're going to have a really, really difficult time of contending this, even with level 20.
Double Hardened Shield on Muradin and TRL here. Blink was selected by Zagara, who I guess can get isolated at times and sniped very quickly, especially against the Blink Jaina. Makes sense.
And we're seeing Kinguin still pushing down towards the bottom, basically looking for another keep. They know it's going to be a 5-on-4 for quite a while here. 30 seconds still remains on the Anubarak. Pressure is on Huron team at the moment, as this is going to get sieged up. If Valor's in a good position, and now she is, she's behind the front line. Uther and Nurok protecting really well. Holy Ground tries to push Invidium out of position to do more damage, but he still finds it.
Yeah, Vala's doing so much damage to the keep here already. He's going to go down. That's 2 keeps down. Do they chase and try to get the fight? Still 6 seconds here on the Anubarak.
Looks like it. Looks like they might just continue pushing on, but they've done 2 keeps. They may as well just back off. There's no reason for them to take a 5-on-5 right now.
They're getting chased.
It's ambitious. It's pretty ambitious. Will be slowed down.
Yeah, I think they know better. You know, they're just going to pull back, try and do some camps themselves. It's 10 kills to 6. And overall, I guess about a whole level ahead here for Kinguin. Going for the camps here is such a smart choice. They're going to create lane pressure, and then when the shrines come back up, they're going to be trying to secure another drag. That's really the way you need to play here on this map. You know, be very patient. And right now, there's really not much that you can do here as Huron team. Maybe do a trap might be one of the best ways to try and come back in this. But again, you know, there is Divine Shield, there is so much sustainability. They're going to go for the 6 o'clock camp to maybe try and set up a trap behind this. But it might backfire big time.
They've got the sustain.
They're coming in hot. Got them hurt from behind as well.
Uh-oh, they're trapped. This is going to happen, whether they like it or not. Great Impale to actually start this fight off. Nurok, though, receiving a lot of healing from that point on. Invidium, how much damage did he do? He catches 3 there with the Rain of Vengeance. The Zagara Moore is going to try and zone some of them out while they put on the power at the front. The Sanctification was helping out enough to get themselves off this. And it might be the turnaround, as you said. They actually get themselves out Gerdem Herd with the Divine Shield, and they will trade 1 for 1. Arthur so far for Muradin, but got to be very careful. Here goes the charge once again. Impale on towards him. If they could kill Invidium, that would be a brilliant pickup for them. They bring down Valor. This could be the turnaround with Uther going down as well.
If this was MVP Black here, they'd kill a wall and go straight for the core. I don't know what Chad was doing, to be honest. He kind of pulled back and went all the way around to try and help. And Muradin stayed too far at the front, you know. as much as, you know, when you get this kind of fights, you definitely want to be going for it, chase down and kill people. I know it happens to me as well sometimes. He definitely should have pulled back and not died here, but with the falling, I guess his team did the job behind this as well.
Oh,
and
good.
Jaina was chasing kind of far out. Yeah.
Good, good, good. I think he has redemption. No, I don't think he has redemption off cooldown.
Jaina's coming in hot. 3 heroes though. I don't think she can do too much.
Yeah.
Lily Kung Fu Hustle wants to do a one-on-one with Malfurion at top, apparently.
The distribution there for Huron team looked a bit weird. I think they could have got a Dragon Knight.
That triple Hardened Shield is pretty ridiculous, by the way.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like, they were like, well, you want to out-sustain us? Sure. Let's meet on the battlegrounds.
They also lost so much health.
Lily's doing a one-on-one with Malf at top.
That'll take
And
forever.
Jaina's coming in.
Kung Fu Hustle will win that out, actually, in the end.
Oh, Jaina's coming in, followed by Anubarak. This is going to get interesting.
Yeah.
And then you have Vala on the way as well.
Like, Kung Fu Hustle always wins this fight with Malfurion versus Lily, but with the support here of Just Snow coming in, obliterating Lily. Vipolino realized he might have overstepped the mark now, and he's going to have to use Burrow Charge to eventually get away from that slow. There's no way you can deal with that without Burrow Charge.
Oh, he's taking so much damage himself. Snow doing a really good job here.
He should have Burrow Charged out earlier. Like, he's taking so much damage to the point where he has to go back to Shrine, and he could have avoided that! Oh! Oh, Tyrael died! Tyrael died towards the bottom. So did Zagara! Oh, Huron team. The potential comeback was so strong.
The observing was not, though.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry.
It's okay. I wasn't seeing it, too.
Yeah.
I was...
One day,
chased so hard.
One day we'll have dedicated observers, man, and it'll be great. Just like StarCraft. But for now, I do what I can. There you go. GG. The Dragon Knight is here. And it looks like Kinguin, with that Dragon Knight, is going to be able to equalize things up a 1-1. But what a game. What dynamics we actually saw come into play here. And Invidium, in the end, hits almost 70k hero damage, along with the Zagara on the other side. So, well thought out. But to me, the way Vala had to play that out, absolutely needed and required that, even with Nexus Frenzy later on, to really aid in killing off these tanks.
Yeah, I think the fights that they took were definitely a big problem here. You know, Muradin was too far at the front. It almost seemed like there was a lot of miscommunication here in Huron team. You know, one guy, in this case the Muradin, was like, let's go, let's go, let's go. They were like, wait, not so fast. Like, take your time. And when that happens, you know, a few fights in a row, then you have a Muradin at the front kind of dying alone. And it's just not ideal going into the rest of the fight, because you lose one guy early and then you're 4 against 5.
All right, well, that does it for game number 2. Kinguin moves it on to a game number 3, and that will actually be on Battlefield of Eternity. So the brand new map, very, very few games have really
favorite
been
map,
played.
I heard.
It's one of them. It's one of them. Very few games have been played on it in terms of competitive play at the very, very top level compared to the other ones. So this is going to be an interesting series, or an interesting game to round things out. Join us after the break, ladies and gentlemen, when game number 3 between Team Kinguin and Huron team will conclude this series. All right, welcome back, ladies and gents, to the ESL Major League here for now game number 3 in our final best of 3 of the night between Team Kinguin and Huron team. The draft has already begun. It is Battlefield of Eternity, so we're very likely to see a wildly different game from our previous 2 because this map plays out in a very, very different way. Let's jump on in as Huron team has already started with their first ban, and it will be towards the Uther.
Yeah, because of you know, the way the fight for the Immortals work in the middle of the map with the map objectives, I wonder actually, what do you think about favoring a little bit more the ranged heroes with like a single tank?
Love it, actually. Love poke compositions on a map like this. If you cast your minds back to the way in which Pushek team played Cursed Hollow in our first series of the day, I think a composition like that could work absolute wonders here.
If you think in terms of, you know, in terms of video games where like combos, certain combos, in this case certain heroes and compositions counter each other, if somebody goes for like a full poke team, surely somebody going for like a lot of hard engage and some lockdown is going to be in the lead, right? To, you know, get some good fights. So remember that in video games a lot of the time there is always something that's going to counter the one thing that you can do. So if Kinguin or Huron, they were to go for that, I think it's going to be very important for the opponents there, already in the draft already, to realize what's happening and try and counter it accordingly.
And the reason Kinguin is taking a very long time over this ban is because Uther being banned means that Huron team either gets Zeratul or Jaina. And either one that they get on this map is so powerful. So powerful.
Well, maybe both of them.
Oh my god. They're good. Oh, okay. I see. I see. This is very clever by them because now both of them get at least one of them.
Yeah.
And also taking away the Abathur.
Gentleman's agreement, except that they can actually get 2 very good heroes themselves.
Yes. Banning the Abathur is also quite smart as well, though. I mean, technically, they could have banned something else and then left Huron team in a very odd situation.
Yeah.
But banning Abathur means that neither team can have really one of the best soakers on this map, because the way the bushes are positioned is Abathur can just sit up there whilst all the skirmishes are going on in the middle, soak one of the lanes super happy, maybe even 2.
Feels like it's harder to detect actually on this map than on some others. So with like the Locust, you know, coming out, Jaina is going to be picked by Huron here as first. So Zeratul is almost certainly here going to be picked. Zagar also going to be one of the very popular picks that we might see. And then behind this, we've talked about, you know, how a poking team from afar can do very well with the map objectives in the middle of the map with the Immortals. So Kel'Thas still going to be available. Are we going to see like a full lockdown team, you think, with like Tyrande, Muradin?
Potentially. But let's quickly think about this, because the thing is that with an Uther ban now, that really pigeonholes Kinguin into actually maybe even taking a healer in one of these 2 picks, because Huron team can easily pick up a healer themselves, and then maybe even ban out a second healer as well. So for Kinguin, I think maybe Zeratul and a healer, Malfurion probably, or well, I mean, or Rehgar. Like, Rehgar works with this as well very nicely. It depends
what the rest of their composition is going to be, or what they want to have. And yeah, I was talking about this. Do they actually want to go for a lot of lockdown? Like now, if you're Huron, you need to worry about Tyrande, because Muradin's already there, so you don't want to leave a lot of stunts available to your opponent in this case, because if you do and they get it, it's going to be really, really hard to deal with it.
Take the healer. Please take the healer and complete this.
Kel'Thas, man.
Because this, the way in which the first ban, if a first ban comes out and you manage to ban 2 healers, it's like infinitely more scary than you picking up 2 healers on a map where you have to significantly poke and poke and poke and poke. Because it leaves you still with a really well-rounded composition, and you're getting away with limiting your opponent's healer from bans alone. This is very interesting, the way in which this plays out now. But are they going to take the healer?
So what are you thinking?
Well, I think that they take Malfa or Rehgar, they ban the opposite one. Team Kinguin, there we go, there's the Rehgar. And then from that point on, Kinguin, they're going to be left with a pretty odd choice, because right now they don't have that much poke. It's about the lockdown, as you were mentioning, but then they're going to have to press the issue with potentially the inferior healer.
Yeah. Do you think that with Muradin already being picked, they ban a tank and then pick
Yes.
one more.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so they ban an Uberak.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see that a lot more and more. You know, I feel like, you know, the first picks don't really matter in terms of, or bans don't really matter at first. But then as you get to the second banning phase, it's all about, you know, how many tanks are there available, and what are we going to do with them? Are we going to try to prevent the opponents from getting, you know, their ideal comp? And a lot of the times that's what happens.
I mean, I keep saying this, and much to my dismay, it doesn't happen too much, but we've seen Virtus Pro actually do it really well in the past, even in this patch, I should say. But it's like, Huron team here bans... Oh, they banned Tyrande. They didn't ban Malfurion.
I told you, man. Like,
oh, okay. Never mind.
Muradin with Tyrande there, like, it's going to be a lot of damage. You have Zeratul also that can close up very quickly, do a ton of damage.
Yeah.
I wonder if Huron has an Illidan plant here. There's actually a pretty good chance. Already having a Rhaegar. Imagine they went for like Illidan and then Tassadar as last picks.
Melee versus melee.
I guess they need a tank no matter what. Okay, so probably not. And in this case, Kinguin, they need to start on adding some assassins to their comp. Zaga and Jen already been gone. There's still Kael'thas available, Vala as well.
Yeah, I'd like Kael'thas, personally. On this map, to out-sustain...
They banned an Uberak. Do they steal Johanna now? 2 tanks and Zeratul, then they'd have to pick one single assassin. But like I said, there's still Vala available.
But if they take Johanna, do they have enough poke? They'd have to really get in their opponent's faces.
Yeah, on this map, yeah, we talked about actually about how, you know, having ranged heroes is going to be very important. So interesting. If they don't pick Johanna, surely it's going to be the tank for Huron, and I feel like they're going to have a very, very strong draft already. Imagine they even go like, yeah, they go Johanna Illidan. It's going to be a sick comp.
Whoa, well, yeah, that wouldn't be a poke anymore. That would just be like, well, we're just going to try and hard engage every single time. And against like a Jaina, that's always going to have to run away, and Zagara, that's always going to have to run away. And don't have many escape
Huron
mechanics.
goes for...
Oh, okay, okay. Sorry.
But they already have the Rhaegar. Imagine they close it out with Tassadar, Johanna and Illidan.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
I get you.
Johanna's going to be at the front, so much damage is going to come in. Illidan's going to be pretty much unstoppable. And Kinguin, on the other hand, they need a ranged assassin here, no matter what.
Sylvanas.
Oh, so maybe 2. Because like usually, as hard damage here, I feel like you'd see Vala, unless they are going to rely a lot on their Zeratul to do damage.
The thing is that Sylvanas on this map actually has...
Whoa!
I like the Nazebo. We'll get... So I like the Sylvanas because it kind of works in a similar way to how Haunted Mines works, right? You can have those weird 4-1 splits, but you know now that you're going to have to be competing in the same lane 4-4 with the other one just soaking.
Yeah. As Modan?
A little bit too far away in terms of lanes. But Nazebo is also really good for controlling the center of the map. You see a lot of zombie walls in these tight chokes really causing some problems.
Do you think this is almost certainly Vala here, or maybe like a Sergeant Hammer as a place in this?
I still like Kael'thas, personally.
Oh yeah, Kael'thas also.
I still really like
incredible.
it. But, I mean, they don't have to. There we go.
Oh man. On this map, actually I wonder how the Zeratul is going to be played exactly. Like we've seen a lot, you know, of the non-nuking build where you still go Void Prison. Any chance we see Shadow Assault? There's definitely a small chance, but I'm just wondering, like, how real would it be against heroes like Nazebo, Zagara, and Jaina in the backline with the Rhaegar in support?
No, I think with these completed drafts, we will see, you know, Void Prism be the choice here. To be able to keep things going, as looks like we'll be getting into game at number 3 very, very soon. Battlefield of Eternity. Really looking forward to this. I've only cast a few games on it, watched a few games in other tournaments.
I've played quite a few games on it.
Yeah, I don't get it anywhere near as much as I used to, obviously because how the map pool changed from the half to now full, and I'm really sad that I don't get as much as I used to. Because I still want to experiment on it, right? I still want to kind of try out new things. Because I think if I had to peg it, maybe like played. Actually, I can even check how many games I've played on it, right? So statistics, I've played only 20 games on it. So I really wish I played more. So, oh well. Oh well. Not to worry. We're just waiting now on... who is missing? Looks like Nvidia. Okay, so everyone's good to go into this second game.
How are they going to lane though? You know, this is a map with 2 lanes only.
Yes.
So I feel like having the Sylvanas here, does it work like the Mines, where you have to go for the defense where the Sylvanas is? Probably, yeah.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And the thing is that if you look at the poking power as well, I would still give it to Team Kinguin as the advantage. So
to be honest, Huron, if they didn't counter the Sylvanas, as good as Sylvanas is at pushing, they got Zagara, Jaina, and Nazeebo.
True.
I still think the Sylvanas is just by herself
An annoyance.
so good at
yeah.
shutting down towers completely. Like, it's pretty crazy. So
yeah, it's between Sylvanas and Kael'thas. I mean, later on, this is how the power struggle is going to be. Sylvanas obviously has to be respected from the very word go in this game, but then level 16 onwards is when their poking power overtakes Huron teams.
Yeah.
Up until that point, Huron team has the better poking. So they need to try and capitalize off that somehow, and you can with those Immortals. Because for the people that potentially haven't played this
it's time for the joke, guys.
What? Which joke?
The Immortals. How many Immortals are there going to be?
Oh, 3 Immortals. Joanna, she's never going to die. But what was I going to say? I can't even remember now. So just in case you don't understand fully how Battlefield of Eternity works, there will be 2 Immortals spawning in the middle. And then you have to battle them for, basically, if you bring down your opponent's Immortal to 0 health, then your Immortal will then go to the lane that is the strongest from your opponents and then push down that with you. Similar to how a boss works on other maps. So,
on the Mines.
Yes.
As well, but a lot less strong. Because you got them 100, there's no stopping. An Immortal you can actually stop.
Yeah, you can. All right, let's get into it. Game number 3 here in this best of 3 as we go into Battlefield of Eternity. As we have to the left-hand side, tying up the series in Game 2, it will be Team Kinguin with Snow playing Zeratul, and he is a devastating Zeratul when he gets given the opportunity. Nebzi will be playing Malfurion, Gerdam Herd will be playing Kael'thas, Nurok will be playing Muradin, and Invidium will be playing Sylvanas. And now that I look at that lineup, that's probably one of Kinguin's dream lineups, actually. And then
all of their favorites.
Yeah, some of their favorites. And then to the right-hand side, we have Huron team with Vipolino and Johanna. Red X will be playing Zagara. Hiruke will be playing Nazeebo. Shad will be playing Jaina. And Rave TGN will be playing Rehgar.
I really like the season's marksman more and more on Zeratul, you know? Like, the longer you're going to go into the game, the more damage he's going to have. Basically, like, everywhere like he goes, he's going to be hunting for squishies at the back, which in this case, you know, there's going to be a Jaina, a Nazeebo, and a Zagara that he can go for. Usually, you wait until they use their spells, and then you go for them. And in this case, very interesting that... You know, we talked about this. They are not trying to counter the lane just yet where Sylvanas is. They just left Zagara at the top by herself. I wonder if they're going to rotate. Nope, so far, just going for the tower.
Got to be a little bit careful here, this Red X. Even if he's up against the tower here, he could still die to a Stormbolt as well as Root. So, very, very careful. Kael'thas is just going to poke towards mid. Look how much damage he's done to them. Of course, the towers did a little bit of damage in that as well, but they're just hard pushing. Really hard pushing.
Yeah. Doesn't look like he's going to be gathering power here in this game. And oh, Kael'thas gets caught. Oh my god. Oof. They took so much damage. He's going to go down. That's going to be so much experience here missing. Zeratul's doing his best to rejoin the bottom lane.
Oh, a blunder. A big, big blunder there to start things off here for Kinguin. And now they're going to have to accommodate for it. You're right. They did lose a lot of experience because it was so pushed up against the wall that they lost the minions really quickly.
Oh, big rotations actually happening. Right now it's Sylvanas against Zagara, the 2 pushers, one-on-one at the top.
I think they know that they've got to do something. They've got to capitalize. Jaina. They've got to get a kill. They've got to get something. They're almost a full level behind already, Todd.
Yeah, this is not good. Not looking good at all here for them, especially if you look at top right now. Huron, they've got a whole minion lane to kind of clear out and soak.
All right, and here comes the start of the Immortals. These 2 positions, a little less easy to start poking and zoning out, but once they go to the side positions, a bit more easy for them to try and control. So they're going to force these away. Once the Immortals, one of them hits 50%, they will reposition themselves after a score.
Oh, Nazeebo at bottom. Gets caught here.
Oh, good root.
He's going to get rooted.
And the body blocks. Oh, Nurok couldn't follow it up.
So close. A lot of fighting. Look at this. Zeratul getting caught now. Ooh, that
get out of there.
was so close. So much action.
So Winter's Reach, this gives you an idea of how much poking is important on this map. Jaina has taken Winter's Reach at level 1 to increase the range of Ice Bolt, or Ice Lance even, I should say. Wait, no, it is called Ice Bolt. I swore it was called Ice
I'm a
Lance
big
for
fan
a
of
while.
the Feral Heart, by the way, in this situation on an action map like this. Do you like it?
Frostbolt. Sorry, what were you saying?
Feral Heart.
Yes, I like it. There's a lot of moving around in the middle in the wolf form and just being slow and being patient. So I totally agree. Feral Heart is a great choice.
I always wonder how he was going to go between two very good teams in terms of, you know, if one of them actually defends their Immortal and soaks the lanes. And it kind of looks like it's the best thing to do here so far. You know, they're just letting those two Immortals go at each other. And if you go on the offense on your opponent's Immortals, then you're exposed to, you know, getting stunned by that Immortal and getting taken down very quickly because these stuns, they are very, very strong.
Good move here by Vipolino as well to get towards bottom in time to be able to soak that experience now that Nazeebo was brought down, and also just get back in a defensive posture with Iron Will, Iron Skin even I should say.
Are they going to go for a camp? They're just tapping. Are they going to rotate? Look at this. They're starting to head towards the bottom here.
Still leaving Red X up towards the top to continue soaking, continue holding against Sylvanas. You've got to play. The thing is that this map plays out much slower than every other map. You hit levels slower. You, unfortunately, in the situation in the middle where you've got to be so meticulous about your positioning. If you overextend on this map, especially with things like Nazeebo against you, you could just be caught off guard and killed.
I really like that Huron team here. They're doing the hard camp. They're going to be able to clear that. On this map, actually, the camps, they have so much pushing power. It's pretty crazy. Their Immortal, I think, was doing it better up until recently.
They found some good room here to actually do damage to their opponent's Immortal, which is great for them.
It's almost at half, so he's going to change position here in a second.
And you've got to remember, the longer these first Immortals are around, they're not gaining health, but the teams are gaining damage. So if you leave it for long, the Immortals can fall extremely fast if you find a window. And already they did, and they brought it down to half health.
Yeah.
And they will reposition now after
Level
this small
7,
fight.
though. I think they would have been happy with trying to force a fight there, but never was going to happen because these pro teams, they know better than to fight one talent down, Kairos.
Yeah. Yes, they do. Now the positions of the Immortals make it a little bit easier for both teams to defend, as it does go towards their bases compared to the actual vertical spots. But
by the way, the Hammer Time build from Muradin, all the way this game.
All the way, man. Sledgehammer works wonders on this map. And I mean, yeah, what do they really have to do with a Thunderstrike build? Not really going to be able to isolate many of these targets, actually. And not slow down too many auto attacks.
Oh, fight at bottom here.
Oh.
Nazeebo gets caught.
And he might end up paying for it. Doesn't look like it, though. Blinks out there to Snow. Doesn't want to be sticking too far. And he will be able to keep himself alive. Likewise, Nurok will be able to heal up eventually with his passive and the tap of the well.
Closing the gap quite nicely here in experience. Kinguin is putting some real work here in the last few minutes.
You're right, they've done very well. They have done well, but now that they need to rival the Immortals, they need to zone out from this one that they are losing health on. They're now even that up, so good moves here. And that might be how they've equalized up the experience. Gets caught by the zombie wall, just jumps straight on out there with Dwarf Toss.
They're poking the Immortal here.
Just poke, poke.
With Jaina spamming Blizzard.
Extra range on the Ice Lance, and then from that point on, gotta be careful.
And Zaga is actually rejoining this. We're going to have a 5-on-5 here, potentially.
Stun goes down.
Zeratul is flying all the way around on his Hearthstone card here.
Oh,
that Immortal is actually going really low. Both of them are very low, but especially Kinguin's here.
Oh,
actually, they might be able to take it up. Look at this.
Oh, both. What? No. Who won?
Who won?
Oh, okay, so Hell won. Hell won by a hair. An absolute hair. I saw the cross come up on the
we didn't know. It's going to be at the top.
The cross came up on the Angel one, and I was, for a split second, looking at the middle. I'm like, wait a minute, and then I noticed the cross, and it's like, oh, okay, then. But for Winter's Reach and Ice Lance is such a clever tactic here.
I'm actually surprised that they don't push with it. Instead, they go at the bottom. They know that some people are going to have to defend at the top, so right now, Team Huron, they just group up with 5 at the bottom. They're going to go straight for that 4th, and they're going to be able to get it. This might be a much earlier level 10 here.
I think that was a great commitment there from Huron team. Not going up towards the top, knowing that their Immortal was going to be kind of low, and knowing that their opponents would probably commit more to the Immortal lane than this one. May as well actually have a 5-on-2 than actually having a 5-on-3 plus Immortal. I mean, maybe this would have died, but there would have definitely been more resistance up towards the top.
Yeah, both teams still very equal here in experience. Look at this. Still a hard camp here left to be taken. They're actually setting up a trap. That's so funny. With Keltas.
Yeah, potentially waiting.
And Mouth. And look, you know, Now I guess Zeratul is going to come in. They realize that nobody's coming, so they're going to clear this.
It been the only active objective on the map. They were a little bit apprehensive as to whether it would be challenged, and it looks like that was not the case. We have a Blessed Shield coming in, devouring more, Gargantuan, Summon Water Elemental, and final Ancestral Healing. And then to the other side here for Team Kinguin, it will be Wailing Arrow, Void Prism, Phoenix, Avatar, and finally, one would suspect, Tranquility from Nebza.
Yeah, Zeratul's attack damage right now. He's got +9 from the Seasonal Marksman. Nice! Void Prison here, but does it really help?
Good disengage. They're going to look for the follow-up damage. Wailing Arrow comes on in as well. Ancestral Healing will be able to keep Nazebo alive. There goes the Devouring Maw, isolating two of them, making sure that they can get away. Snow's going to have to blink on out of there. Oh, but the wall able to pick up two as they come straight out of their Huron team, looking for the turnaround after turnaround.
Yeah, some of these walls have been super clutch here by Hiroke. I have to say in this game already, it's the third one that I've seen really catching somebody, you know, with that first blood early on Kael'thas. Really coming from one of those walls. And now look at this. They're going straight for top 40, and I think they might be able to get it. It's already gone so low.
Yeah. Good moves. Really good moves by Huron team here to solidify themselves. A pretty good position in Group B if they're able to take this victory over Team Kinguin, one of the more favored teams here in Group B. And right now, it's not over by any means, but they have a big edge to Huron team.
Look at how much momentum this has given them. They go straight for the Immortal here. Zaga kind of gets caught, but I think she's going to be able to pull back.
I'm sensing a little bit of desperation almost from Kinguin. They really wanted to push them off that Immortal, and rightfully so. It had almost hit half health.
They are missing so many heroics, to be honest.
Look at Shad. He's just staying up there. He's getting his refresh on his Ice Lance over and over from his Frostbolt. So he's just going to actually get it to half. Wait, who got it to half first? I think...
Oh, I think... Oh.
Okay, so it was the Angel one that we got half health first. It's so close between them when they're controlling his positions. And now, once again, we reset to the locations, which is easier to defend. But Shad, with his Jaina build, is going to look for the opportunity. To look for those small pokes where he can find them.
They need to be careful. Be out of position here for 1 second, and one of the squishies is going to fall instantly to a lot of lockdown here with the Muradin.
They need a good VP. They need a good VP and a good engage, I feel.
All the heroics are up. So any second now. I think both teams, they're just going to do the dance up until somebody's far away and out of position enough that they can engage.
Look at the defensive posture here from both teams. They're Hydralisk ever so slowly pushing across no man's land. Haruka to the bottom, trying to zone out from Gurdam Herd as he does lay that on that flame strike. And
this Zeratul has to be so careful. He's so afraid to engage. He gets close to Jaina and actually gets bursted down very quickly.
There's the Phoenix. Are they going to follow up for the damage? Red X takes quite a bit. Here comes Avatar here from Neurock. The Huron team knows that there's going to be a proper hard engage. And there we go, actually Wailing Arrow straight onto Nazebo. Is it going to be enough to kill him off? It looks like he should go down, but at the same time, they sacrifices Sylvanas and the Muradin for it. So it's 1 for 2 in the end, with Nazebo eventually dying off. They get themselves Gurdam Herd as well. Snownoze is in a lot of trouble. Muradin ends up falling to Rehgar, and Huron team, 4 for 1, is going to be able to pick up themselves a second Immortal.
That was such a good fight for them. Remember, they already took down 2 forts here, so with this Immortal, they're going to be able to group up, push even more with it. And even though the timers are very short, I mean, Nazebo can rejoin his team, and we're going to have the entirety of Kinguin here respawning before this comes into play, but a lot of good damage here. They're closing in on level 14 against just level 12 for Kinguin.
Brilliant stuff, brilliant stuff. And as you can see as well, down towards the Rehgar's build, this is kind of the build that I was expecting a little bit more from our previous series. It's really, really powerful with that healing surge. Eventually we'll go into Tidal Wave later on, and it's got so much sustain in it.
Nazebo is on actually 85 kills with the Death Ritual here, so he's got a health bonus of 435 hit points and mana bonus of 261. Oh, definitely nice.
Neurock gets caught there, going to have to get him out. They actually pop the Gargantuan behind the wall. That's going to zone them out for a little bit. And whilst the Gargantuan is zoning him out, it means that the Immortal is not being hit. Thus, the potential of a good keep kill here.
He's losing his shield so slowly. It's actually really strong at this stage in the game already here. Much better than the first one for sure, which they didn't even push with. The keep's gonna go down, and the Immortal is still pretty much full hit points here. 3
levels down at the moment. They're gonna try and rotate around, get top pushing really, really hard.
Get the keep. The wall's already down.
Yeah, they could technically take it.
They just go for the gate. The Immortal got taken out very quickly.
Once the Immortal shields have dissipated, the health actually goes down very fast.
Oh, they don't have 13. Kinguin. Even though it's very annoying to have a hard camp like this still and right before you, I think they might have to let it go if Okay, they're not actually going to go pretty good for it.
Okay, so more as well as the elemental here is in, and actually a great verdant sphere into gravity lapse was able to lock down Zagara and Jaina at the back, so they actually kept them out of the fight for quite a long time. Malfurion's going to keep himself alive. Muradin ends up falling though, despite the Void Prism locking down 3 of them. So a 1-for-0 trade at the moment. Huron team is really powering on the pressure here.
Yeah, there was a great ancestral healing here used on the Zagara, barely saving her on time, and all of a sudden we level 15 against 13 and the 1 kill. I do think that Huron, they can go for both the 6 o'clock and the 12 o'clock camp.
Great.
Iruke, oh my god, that was really close. Zeratul was very, very close. They need to be careful not to underestimate. Look at the big rotation at top. They're trying to catch Shad.
Shad. He's dead. There's no way he's going to be able to get out of there. I'm sorry, buddy.
Prediction.
There's not much you're going to do there. You can ice block all you want. You're just delaying the inevitable, unfortunately, but it bought time for a potential regroup up here.
Yeah, so close to 16.
Yeah.
I think if they just wait for that here and take another fight. The thing is, that timer on Jaina is,
all right.
I guess, decently long here, that they need to play passive for
well,
they can't engage just yet, which is 4 against 5.
The momentum of the game is going to slow down a little bit now.
Jaina's going to be back on time for these Immortals to appear.
She will, and then with the easy camp pushing towards the top and bottom, they've still got to be very, very careful about this. They're trying to bait out maybe the fight before Jaina's back at the hard camp, but they're not willing to.
There's 2 camps pushing, one at the top, one at the bottom. They're going to have to defend, already having a keep down. And now another one's going to be cleared before the Immortal comes up.
Oh no.
So
And the Immortals have spawned in a terrible position here for Team Kinguin. The Angel is actually on the side here of them whilst they're trying to clean up these positions. This is disastrous in how they've actually spawned here for Team Kinguin. It's going to be at 50% before they even get onto their opponents. So they're going to be forced into a defensive posture here, Todd.
They are going to need for Huron to make big mistakes here to come back in this, like getting stunned by the boss 2 times in a row, the entire team or something like that. I don't know. It's going to take a hell of a fight.
Switched around now.
Winston actually hits Johanna, but not the biggest of deals. Going to get healed right away.
Still level 16.
Oh, Shad comes in from behind.
Oh, with the Blizzard as well. They locked down. They were able to do a lot of damage there to Malfurion. Here comes the Void Prism. Can they capitalize off it? They need to get a kill, but they're not going to just yet. They need to do big AoE damage. Snow, though, on the back is going to get killed off by Spider Poison alone. Here's the Phoenix. Is it able to do enough at the moment? Huron team right now looking to chase on forwards. Johanna actually gets the Condemn, slowing them down a little bit. Rave is on the pursuit as well. And he will be able to jump over the wall, but Malfurion is almost certain to die here too. Shad, big pick off. That's going to mean another Immortal. That's going to mean the 3rd one. Huron team, 3 for 3 on the Immortals at the moment.
Yeah, 2 kills here to none. They're going to be able to secure that quite easily. And with still level 16 against, I guess, about 15, well, I guess 17 to 15 technically here in a second. They're going to have a lot of pushing power. And look at where the Immortal goes now. That's where the keep is left here.
Yeah.
It's hungry for that keep. They're going to be pushing with it. And it's going to get really scary here in a second for Kinguin. If they lose that keep, they're going to be in so much trouble. It's going to be oh so hard to defend it here.
This is almost irrecoverable here for Team Kinguin at the moment. They have taken so much damage. If they can defend this somehow, it's got full shields. That is a massive deal here. 35,000 health they're going to have to chew through at the moment as the wall goes up. Well, I'm trying to zone out some of these members. The keep is going to fall. This could be the game-finishing move, Todd.
Yeah, Johanna's going to get right in there.
And we're seeing Vipolino at the front, also tanking up a lot of damage, unstoppable at the moment. And now that the keep has fallen, how are they going to be able to deny this? A lot of damage has already been done to them. Envy, as well as Gerdam Herd and Snow, all at half health. And it looks like Huron team here are looking for the march on towards the victory. Still so much health left on this Immortal. I'm not sure how they're going to be able to do it. They need a miracle fight. Snow has to do something soon. He has to get a good VP, but they're able to catch him. They're able to catch him out. They catch him on the side of this. Vipolino gets Ancestral healed up. They're not going to be able to kill this off in time. Here comes the Void Prism. This is a one opportunity. There's the Devouring Maw as well that is able to equalize out the fact that the Void Prism went down.
They can just go for the core, I think.
Right click the core and just kill it off at this point here. Huron team is going to take the victory 2-1. What a game from them in game number 3, taking the victory over Team Kinguin. Congratulations to them here in week 2 of the Major League for them. Really good victory there for them.
Hiroke with some pretty clutch zombie walls, I have to say. The guy who used to be a support now plays, I guess, a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
This game on Nazeebo, some pretty insane zombie walls. He's the one who gave them the lead early on by landing that big zombie wall at the bottom against Gerdam Herd. Didn't they used to be teammates as well on Wellmet?
I think so, yeah.
Basically, all of these guys used to be teammates at some point. Let's just agree to
a lot of cross-pollination, let's put it that way. So, congratulations to Huron team. What a great fought victory there in the final game. And gotta say, Shad made me a fan today of his of his Abatha playing game number 1, transitioning onto his Jaina build in this game, which for Battlefield of Eternity really makes a lot of sense.
He did very good. There was a lot of situations where they were like very close, and he came a little bit around, came out of the shadows, and then he's just blasting one of the the squishies in the back.
Yeah.
Very, very quickly, taking him down, and never really went too far out of position that he was going to get sniped very quickly, which again with somebody like Jaina is very, very hard to do.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that does it for our games for today. We can take a look at the league table once again to confirm what has happened today thus far. And Huron team puts themselves a big W on the board against Team Kinguin, one of the favorites here in Group B, as they were looking to challenge for a top 3 spot, or a top 2 spot, I should say, moving on to the playoffs. So good job by Huron team to be able to get that. Team Alternate and Kappa 1, 2, 3 so far in Group B. Not looking so hot. I can guarantee, though, the competition here in these groups is going to be as equally fierce as we've seen today, Todd. That was a really good series to round things out. Yeah,
pretty impressed by both teams, Huron in particular. It was a close series, which is always nice, you know, as much as, seeing a 2-0 and a demonstration on how to play well. Definitely a big fan myself of this close series. And glad we got to see that map here.
Yes.
I know it's your personal favorite, so it's...
When it's played like that, man, oh yeah, that was damn good. That was really impressive by a Huron team. Well, ladies and gentlemen, a huge thank you for joining us today for the ESL Major League. It was our pleasure to bring you these games. If you'd like to follow us on Twitter, make sure to head over to @JohanMerlo, as well as myself @KyleLaris on Twitter to support us. Make sure you follow the channel here as well at ESL_Heroes, as we'll be bringing a lot of Heroes of the Storm action for you in the future. So any last words before we wrap things up, Todd?
Every time you ask me this, I say the same thing. It's been good games, and I guess see you next time.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. See you next time. Bye for now.